What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I am excited because I get to play with a new toy. I am going to be switching out my Dialed Arxos, which was a great sight. It was Dialed's first rendition. Essentially, they changed the game with this angled rail. So when you dial in, you can shoot a lot further distances while still maintaining clearance and stuff like that. So their new sight that they rolled out, it's not even, I wouldn't even consider it a redone Arxos. It's a completely different sight. It's got a first axis adjustment, which is, it's a pretty sweet. You probably won't use it a ton, but you have the option to be able to adjust the first axis. It's got second axis and a third axis adjustment, all very, very easily done. I haven't leveled this sight at all yet. So I'm going to take you through swapping this out real quick and throwing this Dialed Pruf sight on here and getting it all leveled up. Little disclaimer, I'm no expert. I have done this quite a bit. Grew up in an archery shop, work on all my bows and stuff like that. But I'm not saying the way that I do things is 100% the only way to do it. It's how I do it. It's how it's worked for me. And I haven't ran into any issues. So that being said, let's dive in. First things first, I already loosened this up, but essentially this bridge lock system on this Matthews is super easy. You just take an Allen wrench on this screw here, and so it's tight here, and you'll just loosen that and slide that bad boy out. And what we're gonna do is slide this bad boy back in right here. And I kind of wiggle it back and forth just a little bit just to get that screw to set centered in the grooves here. The Proof only has one groove. I have this tool from leveling my scopes and stuff on my rifles, but it's the Wheeler engineering leveling system. There'll be a link in the description below for that. But what I do is I will take my level. It's a little dirty from all my tile work, but I take a level, and what I do is I throw it on the limb pockets on the Matthews. And what I'm going to do is get this leveled up in this bow vise here. And this this bow vise is it's actually a bike mount. Okay, so then I'm going to adjust this wheeler here to be matched up with this level, so that way I don't have to hold this level all the time. And if it's not perfectly, like, I'm pushing on the bow a little bit to get these both level, but essentially the level on this stabilizer and the level here with the bubble on the riser pocket or the limb pockets, they match perfectly. So that being said, what I can do now is I'll just take a look real quick and kind of manipulate this a little bit to get it leveled. And okay, it's perfectly level from the factory. Like I said, I haven't played with this at all, so that it's not very good for this video. But good job, Dialed. I mean, I'm not surprised. This thing is so well engineered, it's not even funny. So I would say that that is perfectly level. But what I want to do is I'm going to grab a shorter level real quick. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this level on the rail. Okay, so this is actually we're gonna do our first axis here with the rail. Okay, it is off a little bit. So that's where we're gonna start. So essentially, if your rail is off level a little bit, as you dial down, like you're gonna drift off target. So you want that perfectly straight and level, plumb, I should say. So when you're dialing it down, you don't have any changes left and right, say at 120 yards. If you're dialed in perfect at 20 and it's off, you're gonna be 2 feet to the left or something when it comes to shooting at long distances. So what we're gonna do is adjust the cameras. I had to go do just a tiny bit of research, just for full transparency. So what you need to do before you install it in, or what I would recommend, and honestly, I don't know if this is right or wrong or not, but these 2 little screws right here, just pop them loose just a little bit before you put it in. So now we're gonna put it on the bow, and that will allow us to adjust the first axis, okay? Snug that in there, okay? And what you have is these 2 screws, one on each side, that will essentially push it left and right. And you can get it snug back up. So, okay, got it close. So now as I tighten these, get it snug, and double check, make sure it's level with the rail and the bow. Okay, top needs to go over just a tiny bit more. So I'll loosen this one, and I'll tighten this one. Too much. And obviously, it's all about how anal and precise you want to be. Here in Utah, we have a ton of very steep angled shots. So having a bow that is level is critical. Okay, it's tight. Perfect, there we go. Let you guys catch a glimpse of that, what I'm looking at here. Okay. So you see that's money there on the stabilizer. And I'll throw this bad boy up here. Do this very awkward situation. And level there. All right, so that is the first axis there. So now what I'm gonna do is pull this out again, and then I'm just gonna tighten up. Because I secured it with these 2 screws here, pushed it back and forth, and they're snug. It's not gonna go anywhere. So now I'm gonna tighten these 2 Allen heads again. So that way that the first axis is now set. And again, that's this guy here, okay? You're leveling up this rail, because if it's sliding down at an angle, your shot's gonna be way off. So those are snug, and I barely loosened them when I went and installed it, or before I installed it the first time, so it didn't take much to tighten them. But, okay, so now we are gonna do the second axis, okay? And I'm actually gonna move this camera so you guys can see what I'm doing here, since it wasn't recording that whole time anyways. Good job, Jared. All right, so that's level there. So, and it's barely off, which is nice. It's not gonna take too much. So what I'm gonna do is there's an adjustment. All these are labeled, So you got your first, second, and third axis adjustments all labeled. Very user-friendly. Okay, like I said, they're all labeled. So this is labeled second here. You're gonna loosen these bad boys here, and then you'll make the adjustment here. So we're gonna loosen these front screws just a touch. Similar setup to that first axis. Loosen there. Loosen here, just a touch. Okay. And having that on the stabilizer, I don't have to hold a level up here the whole time, so it makes it really nice. And we're gonna go back to these little screws here, just like on the first axis. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen this left side. And you'll probably have to play with it a little bit. I'm left-handed, so I screw everything up and everything's backwards for you righties. Okay, so level up the stabilizer level. And I like to hold it for a second. Sometimes the bubbles are a little slow. And these dialed sights, they have a little indicator. So I went too far, so I'm gonna loosen this a touch. Just a smidgen. And then tighten this guy. And now we're gonna see here. Okay, so we're level on the stabilizer and we're perfectly level on the sight. So now what we do again is now we tighten these second axis. Again, like this is so easy. It's not even funny. Loving it. It's only taken a little bit just because I'm super anal, like I said, when it comes to this. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rotate this thing for the third axis. And this really only gets it close. Okay, you're gonna need to shoot it in and double check everything, okay? So obviously the third axis, the point is when you're shooting at an angle, shooting downhill or uphill, the actual housing itself, making sure that it is level and straight as it should be, okay? And we're pretty close, honestly. Not close enough, but we're close, okay? So this is level here, and now we're going to adjust this bad boy. Okay, so this one, it's labeled here on the front as third. And all we're gonna do is loosen this and match it to the stabilizer one. Here, let's get you guys a gooder view. All right, there's your gooder view. Again, we're level here. I don't know if you can even see that. Level here. Now we're going to go here. So I'm gonna loosen this third here and get it to where it is perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna double check it real quick by throwing it up. Uphill. And it's perfect. Okay, so I wasn't gonna make this a comparison video because the sights are two completely different sights. They essentially just took the Arxos and pulled the housing itself and this rail and scrapped the rest and went back to the drawing board and created an incredible sight. That was the easiest first, second, and third axis adjustments I've probably ever done on a sight, and I've shot a lot of different sights, and they're all really good sights, but that, especially that third axis, oh my, that was amazing. Super easy, very solid, no complaints with that. So the only thing left to do, obviously, is shoot it. So that was pretty simple. All right, guys, so that is how you level up the first, second, and third axis adjustments on the new Dialed Pruf sight. Very simple, quick, easy, and now it's time to go out and shoot this bow. Let's go.